Today we have another installment in our series on goals and goal setting, and how to do it in a way that, well, you get the most out of your employees, you motivate them, you recognize and reward them as much as you can and as appropriately as you can. And specifically today, I wanted to touch on the topic of stretch goals. And I've worked with a lot of leaders over the years who have really been big into setting stretch goals, and they brag about it and they're very proud of how their team meets and exceeds their stretch goals. And I'm really happy for them. I'm not going to do anything intentionally, at least, to throw water on that. But I do want to challenge those of you out there that if your people are consistently meeting your stretch goals, are they really stretch goals? Or does that should that be their goal in the first place? So back to some of the videos that we have recorded previously. Think about the science behind the methods that you use in setting goals initially. And, let's be honest, if you really look at setting goals based on history and based on potential, that should be your goal, okay? A stretch goal by its nature, if you've done that, becomes questionable as to whether that is going to be effective or not. Or, and this was really kind of the impetus for doing this video in the first place, stretch goals could become very demoralizing to your team, at least certain members of your team. If you're like a lot of sales organizations, you've got some people that are highly motivated by incentives, and you've got other people who are not motivated or motivated very little by incentives. The same applies to goals. You can give somebody a stretch goal and they can be like, okay, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do everything it takes to meet that goal. But then you're going to have other people that are going to say, okay, it's a stretch goal. If I get it, great. If I don't, that's great too, as long as I meet my goal. Okay, and I think that's part of the consideration that each of you has to work through. It's really kind of it really gets down to what type of environment do we want to create. You know your people, you know what's going to motivate them, you know how they're going to react or they're going to respond to those stretch goals. And so you should set them accordingly. But I also want to challenge each of you to think about, if we have set really good, solid goals in the first place, do we even need stretch goals? If you've got employees that meet their goal and then stop producing because they've met their goal, well, all right, there's two things we need to think through. Number one, your goal probably wasn't high enough in the first place. So whether you have a stretch goal or not, we got to make sure that 100% goal is as high as it needs to be. Because again, if your people are meeting that easily, or if they're meeting that, 2/3 of the way through the sales period, and then they stop producing as a result of it, well, then maybe your goal wasn't set properly in the first place. Secondly, if that's happening, to me, that's a performance issue. Employees should never stop producing or looking to produce, because if we're doing this for the right reasons, they should never quit. They should never stop. And the right reason should be to improve the financial life of each and every member, right? Isn't that why we're doing this? Well, if so, then it doesn't matter if you've met your goal or not, you should continue to do it. And so the same thing applies to stretch goals. If I've exceeded my goal, well then, okay, great, let's celebrate that. Let's let's recognize and acknowledge it, and kudos for earning your incentive, whatever the case may be. But I don't take my foot off the gas. I keep trying to help each and every member improve their financial life. So just be careful, I guess, is a way of wrapping this up. Just be careful with stretch goals. Make sure that it's sending the right message. Make sure that it's not demoralizing some of your employees. It might be motivating some or demotivating others. Just be conscious of that as you establish your goals, and then specifically establish those stretch goals and communicate those stretch goals to your employees.